Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Solo from the cluster Alpha Born, and today I would like to talk to you and demonstrate some chandelier designs. Now, I've seen thousands upon thousands of bases and different types of designs. I've even looked through YouTube and seen what the best version out there is, and they all seem to be quite similar, or they have some small changes or small differences, but they're basically all the same. And I personally don't like the design that's out there, so I've actually come up with my own. Many tribes, alpha tribes on my cluster, have tried it and preferred it, and I'm actually going to try and demonstrate my version of chandeliers in this video. But just for now, very quickly, I'm going to build the typical design that I've seen about, and some people even have claimed that this one's OP, and I really don't think it is. On top of that, I'm going to build it in tech, because I've noticed this particular design is also built in tech quite often. Although I'm going to say right now, if your enemy, or if the tribe you're up against, has elements at their disposal, or if it's a resource that they can get somewhat easily, then never build in tech, okay? Because tech beats tech. If they can use tech guns, rifles, or if they can use tech Rexes, or even underwater you've got a tech Moser, tech Tappies particularly are quite OP, then building in tech is just giving yourself a weakness, really. Okay, so if you are trying to sort of mix and match half your base in metal, half your base in tech, then yeah, it means a raider could need multiple resources at their disposal to actually raid you. But building in just tech because you believe it's endgame, believe me, it's not. Okay, one of the videos I did before with a primitive rifle was doing, I think, 320 or 350 damage per shot on a structure, where metal was only taking around 50 damage. Okay, but anyway, so as you can see, we literally put down a foundation, dropped some pillars down, and some ceilings, and we're now adding some hatch frames. This is quite the popular design. I mean, I know some of them differ a little. Some of them have small changes, like 2 foundations, or you overlap the hatch frames, or anything along them lines. But ultimately, this is the main average design, and then you generally have the generator in the center. Okay, so as you can see, that can be quite strong. Also, I'm not going to make these chandeliers too big today. I'm going to make them all 4 to 5 rows each. And my next video, I'm actually going to get some guys over to come and take all 3 of them on, and then they can share their opinions on which was best. But with this design, although yes, it could look scary with turrets on, it could look big, I personally feel that's still very easy to destroy, depending on what method you use. And what I mean by that is, for example, as you're about to see, if I take out one pillar, a lot of the structures vanish. Now that's an issue when you think of cannon raiding, the Magmasaur or Magmasaurus or whatever it's called, I can't remember, or even, like I said, tech Tappies. A tech Tappy could take out one pillar, and half your chandelier's gone already, and they haven't had to touch the actual cliff platform. And that is the main point here. So my 2 designs, they're not perfect, nothing ever is, okay? And you may have a different opinion to me, and that's perfectly fine, okay? But my 2 designs are more built around how to become difficult to destroy. So for the first one, as you can see, it's 1 square foundation, 1 triangle foundation, and you're going to keep going round until they match back up. Now this one's very slim. It's not the most OP of chandeliers, but it's very good if you don't have a large area. If you have a small area to defend but you want to defend it well, this is a very slim but effective chandelier. So like I said, as you can see now, I'm putting pillars into each square foundation. That means that I can now pillar down. I'm also going to fast forward bits of this video of me, say, just doing pillars, because it was quite a long video. I'm going to try and shorten it as best I can, so I'm not here taking up too much of your time. Okay, and as you can see, I can even put some more pillars on top. So this particular design, you can keep adding to it. Okay, it will constantly grow over time. And again, as you can see, oh, that's gone completely wrong. As you can see, though, I'm attaching triangle ceilings with the square ceilings, so I'm basically replicating the original design or the foundations. Next, I'm actually going to add the triangle ceilings to the outside to create a kind of spike. I actually love the way this one looks. Okay, as a design, it's actually very nice and tidy, and just looks awesome in my opinion. Feel free to, like I said, have a different opinion. That is your right. But yeah, as of, I suppose, early to middle game chandelier style, personally, I don't think this one takes too much resources because it's just pure metal. Hatch frames can be quite expensive, so this is the cheaper alternative and a nice slim design. Once you've completed it, it should look something like this. Doesn't that look awesome? Imagine having like 5 of them around your base. That would look really good. Okay, just going to do a few more up here quickly. Now, I'll also mention as well, I am on my single player server and I did reset all the settings. So I'm going on the assumption my settings right now are the same as official. If they're not, I do apologise. I haven't been on official in quite a while. I know there's been quite a few changes, but as of like what I do know right now, this should be identical to official. So generator towards the back of the center. Give myself some element. Now, as you can see as well, because it's so slim, without turning the generator up, I'm actually powering most of that already. So instead of needing it to be on max straight off the bat, I can technically save element over time by having the generator on a lower setting. But of course, if I wanted to add or expand to it, then I could. Now, remember earlier? We destroyed a pillar and half of it disappeared. And this is why I like this design so much. That's 3 pillars gone, yet anywhere the turrets would be is still there. The structures haven't changed. Up top, destroying more pillars. So as you can see, I've done quite a lot of damage right now, and yet nowhere where my turrets would be on the spikes have disappeared. So what this means is I'm limiting the raiders' options. They have to take out a lot more structures. As you can see right now, I have 1 pillar still connected. So the levels, 2 levels below it, haven't even changed. They haven't been affected. So now the raider either tanks everything, gets rid of the cliff plat, or has to take out all the pillars. Okay, so that was my slim design. This one is a much bigger design. It is quite expensive in resources, so this would be more when resources aren't so much of an issue for you, or they're quite easy for you to get. But this one, if you build it correctly in the right spot, it can become near enough impossible to destroy it. You're forced to tank. So all it is 2 square foundations, 3 triangle foundations. Again, you can do a full 360 until they connect, but that's not actually necessary. If you wanted to do a half one like what I'm doing now, it does do a really good job. So again, as you can see, I'm doing it both from the same, and then same again. Every square foundation has the pillar in it. Now, one extra tip that I'm going to add in as well, you don't have to do this, but I personally prefer it. Wherever possible, try to pillar all the way down to the ground, okay? And if you can, make your pillar snap to the ground. Or if you have the option to, pillar upwards to the ceiling. And again, if you can snap it to the ceiling. And the reason for that, what happens is it's kind of a hybrid between chandelier and a tower. And what I mean by that is when they're snapped to the ground, even when the raider gets rid of the cliff plat, the tower itself doesn't actually disappear. So any turrets below the cliff plat, they actually stick around. They stay there. So to get rid of this, or by destroying it, you have to disconnect all the pillars along the floor, somewhere along the floor, and then still get rid of the cliff plat as well. Which means, again, they either have to tank all of your bullets, or they have to actually destroy a lot more to make sure they're actually taking it down. So it's not just, take out one pillar and 20 turrets vanish. One other thing you can do with this one as well, you could or can actually vault drop this. I haven't put the vault dropping in the video, but when you're at the stage of vault dropping pretty much everything in your base, whether you're doing the behemoth trick that I showed before, or you're doing actual vaults, or do both of course would be the best, but that's talking a lot of resources to get that done. The vault dropped version of this, minus tanking, is near enough undestroyable because of how long it takes, how much is needed to destroy it. But like I said, all of my designs, all the builds I do, everything is built around making a raid take as long as possible, and that's all you can do really. No one's ever going to be truly unraidable, okay? As long as your enemy has dinos and as long as they have time, they eventually will get in. The difference is, does your base take 1 hour to get into, or does it take 10 hours to get into? And that's my point here, okay? I'm building a bigger chandelier when I'm at a stronger position to make sure that I'm hitting the double digits on time. Because obviously if it takes them, let's say, 10 hours and I only sleep for 8 on average, I have a much better chance of getting back on before my entire base is wiped, and I can actually do some defending. That triangle ceiling is completely wrong and it just looks stupid. Okay, but yeah, so as you can see, again, I'm replicating what I did with the foundations, and then same again with this one. When you destroy a pillar, the ceilings and the triangle ceilings don't actually just vanish, okay? So again, to get rid of a lot, you have to take out every single pillar on a row, and that's going to take a lot more time than just destroying one pillar. Okay, so coming down, I always come down 2, or if I'm doing a kind of sky barrier chandelier, I would then do between 4 and 5 gap between each row. Especially if I'm building in, say, the hard underwater cave on the island. That one I usually do about a 5 gap, so I can still get squids and moses through, but there's no way an enemy can come near or get through without being shot. And as you can see already, that's looking quite neat and quite tidy. Again, I can add to this over time, okay? So whatever my base form or standard is, which should probably be, say, 3 rows of turrets, that is a strong chandelier on its own, but then over time I can get it to 5, 8, 10, whatever I want to do. I'm just going to speed this up a bit more again now. In a second I'll make it daytime as well, so you can actually get a proper view of this. I'm just going to make it a bit taller as well to show it. Again, I can add upwards if I needed to. If you're wondering why I suddenly have a pickaxe in my hand as well, just before I did this part, I actually got rid of the trees down below. They were annoying me. And there we go. As you can see, that's 5 rows. There's the daylight, so you can actually see it properly now. And again, as you can see, every hatch frame is disconnected, which means if they destroy one hatch frame, another one won't drop with it. Okay, this one needs to be destroyed individually, and that's where the time comes. As you can see, I've got the red gun out. 1 pillar, 2 pillar, nothing's changed. Come over here. 2 more pillars, nothing's changed. So already that's 4 pillars that they've been, say, destroying, whether they're cannon raiding or tech tappies or anything along them lines. There's another pillar there. Another pillar there. So watch, now that I do this one, okay, now the structure is beginning to weaken, but because it's in the ground, it's turned into a kind of turret tower. Now if I take out some of the bottom ones, there we go. How many pillars did I have to destroy to take out the center? And as you can see, I only took out the top and bottom middle part. I've still got 3 hatch frames to my right, and I think 2 hatch frames to my left. So even destroying, I think that must have been at least 8 pillars, it didn't take out the entire chandelier. They've still got more tanking to do. They've still got more destroying to do. Okay, so I've just got them repaired and turreted up. So now I'm going to show you roughly a sort of finished design or final design. So again, as you can see, it goes heavy, tech, heavy, tech, heavy. And this is the first one that I'm not really a big fan of. I don't really like this one. It's just weak, in my opinion. Yeah, it's got a lot of firepower, but it's so easy to destroy. So coming over to my slimmer design. So as you can see, every triangle ceiling was a location for a turret. A nice 360 protection there. Again, I can add to this over time. Oh, I overshot it a little bit. Sorry, they changed GCM, so now you're automatically really fast. But yeah, as you can see, this one, that just looks like a beast. And that's just 5 rows. I have just noticed that I've missed a spot when I was repairing it. But yeah, don't forget, guys, the next video, in the next few days, I'm actually going to get a couple of guys over here. Could be 5 people, could be 10 people. And we're going to have them go up against all 3 of these chandeliers. And we're going to see which one withstands the most, which one's the hardest to get rid of. But there you go. Like I said, look at that. Because the pillars are in the ground, even if they did drop the cliff plat, underneath the cliff plat will still be there shooting. And that's the point. That's how we're going to make things take a long time.